Jackman alongside me. Huge night for both sides on a packed RDS.
Yeah, any chance we were going to slip quietly into the URC after the Grand Slam ended when John Dobson sent his team over. I think all Leinster fans and most URC fans have been licking their lips at the prospect of this encounter. An unbeaten Leinster side, you know, have looked outstanding all season, but up against the champions, you know, team in second place, chasing down Leinster, and with the quality they have on show, it's going to be a fascinating evening.
Rhys Ruddock just in their shot a few seconds ago, once again leading out this Leinster side, his 14th season. He's captained Ireland as recently as last November, and his value to the province cannot be overstated. Leinster did win 17 out of 17 in the Pro 14 a few years ago, 24 matches unbeaten in that campaign until they came up against Saracens in a European final at St James's Park in Newcastle. They're heading in a similar direction this season. They have been peerless so far. Can the Stormers come and storm the ramparts around the RDS and take down the fortress, lower Leinster colours? It'll have to be an all-court 1-23 performance for the full 80 minutes, even against a so-called weakened Leinster side, if there is such a thing. And that man, Manny Lebock, will have to control the tempo and the kicking game, of which there will probably be quite a lot in very, very challenging, difficult, windy conditions.
Yeah, and that's going to be the challenge for the Stormers, just to adjust to this kicking. Obviously, you know, very warm, hot weather in South Africa at the moment, so they've got to come here and adjust. Got in here Monday, short training week, but you know, they've made a statement that they want to get something out of this game, and you know, if they can adjust to that kicking game quite early, it'll be a big advantage to them because it is very windy.
Playing the arm was legal, but the offside had been picked up by the match referee, and it leads to the first real platform for Leinster. But immediately the DHL Stormers contesting on that throw from John McKee and turning over the ball inside their own half. And it's those little wins, even 90 seconds into the game, that can just settle the nerves and allow you to begin to settle into a rhythm and lay down a marker. Testing one for the vastly experienced Luke McGrath, of course, 190th appearance in Leinster blue this evening for the man who was the assist for 4 tries out of 7 in Edinburgh a couple of weeks ago. Harry Byrne was alongside him, and they maintain that partnership tonight. Michael Milne, 2 tries last time out in round 15 in that game against Edinburgh. And look at that
For me, all
defence from the Stormers, and 2 turnovers inside the opening 2.5 minutes will give them an opportunity, perhaps with the likes of Blue McKees, and they'll bring in so many of these big powerful runners, and Dan Duplessis gets his pass away. Lebock is there quickly. Defet wants quick ball, and do they have numbers out to the left hand side on that little loop around? Leinster out quickly to try and shut things down in the shape of Jason Jenkins, who did well, and they go this time to Dion Fourie with all his vast experience on that Leinster 22. Bright start for the visitors from Cape Town, acknowledged by the sizable Leinster crowd who try and galvanise their team in this defensive set. And look at those big hits keep coming in again. Not too often you see Scott Penny sat back down in a position like that. Kitsoff now leads by example and carries. Quick ball for Lebock just in that little pocket in behind. 3 minutes on the watch, and Stormers monopolising possession and changing the picture and getting their big ball carriers Malherbe and Kitsoff involved. The presentation is perfect on a plate for the vet, and now the crossfield kick. Bounce could go anywhere. Harry Byrne, the covering player, and he did really well under all kinds of pressure from Hartzenberg. Cries of off their feet, and yeah, Stormers get the penalty. What a start from the visitors.
Yeah, that's brilliant by the Stormers. They got a turnover through a block down as Leinster try to run out of their own half, and that blitz defence, the Norm Laker special, just forced the turnover, and from there they just got into the life so quickly. Just their ability to find space off transition was excellent, and lovely variety there with a crossfield kick from Lebock and putting big pressure on the breakdown. Really bright start from the Stormers.
Yes, really good variation, good decision making, clear thinking, full arsenal in attack then.
Yes, Keane, we're ready.
Yeah, he doesn't really get any luck with the bounce, but in fairness, that tackle from Hartzenberg, and then the follow up, the pressure they're putting on, and Leinster go off their feet.
5 tries in the URC already this season for Joseph Dweeba, and he'll set about getting into position to receive this ball at the base of this Stormers maul, and off they go now. Still going. Now it's been taken down by the Stormers. Nothing illegal there, says Sam Grove White, the referee. Leinster defence has to be resolute and stacked here. De Vet again, so many options, and he had an option back on that short side. He went open. They're under those Leinster posts again. Quick hands and the offload potentially. Now that's going forward. First mistake. Almost 5 minutes of possession, and all of it in the Leinster half of the field, and then they cough it up. And Leinster look to play with Deegan.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't get onside. Go.
As they look to be brave and courageous, still inside their own 22. Now McGrath, having worked a little bit of angle and a little bit of space, gets it back to Harry Byrne, and that's a relieving kick.
Yeah, that's a good psychological boost for Leinster. Often these games between the top teams come down to who can convert those 5-metre opportunities into scores, and you saw Leinster look like the Stormers were going to get on top of the ball, but eventually they broke away, and from here Leinster got a couple of double shots and then eventually just forced his turnover here as the ball is lost in contact. Good read by Rob Russell. He gets into that passing channel, and good kick by Harry Byrne to move the play up over to 22.
Marvin O'Reed took the previous line out, taking his tally to the season for 60. He's so dependable in that regard. As Hartzenberg works at that seam at the back of the Stormers line out. Dweeba now comes forward, carries it with real intent and physicality and dynamism. Impressive start for the Stormers. Now can they cap it with the all-important first score of the game as it's played out the back from Dan du Plessis to Manny Lebock. Again there's a penalty, and Leinster being forced into errors and coughing up penalties because of the pressure at John Dobson's side. The champions are bringing here in the early stages, and now they go to a little bit of depth, and du Plessis has been involved heavily. That's a lovely one-handed play to Malher. Ball just goes forward, back for the penalty.
Yeah, again, good pressure from the Stormers.
One high tackle.
Probably disappointed they couldn't do a little bit more there when they had the penalty advantage of trying to find space on the edge, but Leinster got back in shape. You just see that high tackle from Michael Mill.
It's here, yeah.
The Stormers are happy to have had a shot at goal. This is a much better start from the Stormers than we've seen previously on their away trips in Ireland. They were very disappointed with how they played against Ulster away, and you know they've set their stall out quite early here.
Yes, it's a very different side, isn't it, to the one that went to Belfast and was heavily beaten in the end. And
I love quick ball as much as you.
Just for a little bit of context for Manny Lebock, this is the easier of the two ends to kick into. He's playing with the aid of a very, very strong, swirly, blustering breeze.
Pete Emerson.
And it's bringing with it a little bit of rain too, but I was watching him kicking at the other end prior to the game, and he was finding life very difficult indeed. So then, for a hard-earned but much deserved opening score and an early lead in the game. ...143 points in the competition so far. He's just north of 80% in terms of his kicking ratio, and after a little check, the two ARs put up their flags, and it's a very valuable 3 points for the champions.
Yeah, I think it's important for the Stormers just to take points there. They had a decent period of possession. You see John Dobson there, he'll be happy with that start. Him and his coaching staff are off to Durban in the morning to get back for the Currie Cup game on Sunday. They're double jobbing. Busiest coaches in the business, he told me last night.
Yes, big game in the Currie Cup on Sunday, and then another massive game next week in Europe, and there's indication of the really difficult conditions.
Yeah, it's a brilliant kick-off by Harry Byrne. He sees that they're a little bit light, just gets it in behind.
Right, no, it's not. Yeah, come across.
The du Plessis there gets lost in the wind a little bit, and that's a big error by the Stormers. Just haven't scored. They need to catch that and be able to get a ball down the other end of the field. But the line-out's been really solid so far.
Stop in front, Stormers.
As it is again, and that's a kick again, aided by that wind swirling around. You saw it on the wide camera angle there, that buffeting sheet of rain coming in behind it too.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, the conditions have really got worse, and you'd say that's definitely an advantage to Leinster. Winter rugby here, Leinster are very used to that. So, but the Stormers have so many players of experience internationally, they should be able to adapt to it.
John Dobson, in his pre-match interview just about a half an hour ago, said, look, we've got to come out swinging, and they've done that. 9.5 minutes in, this is the first time we've really seen Leinster anywhere up around the Stormers 22, but we know they can be extremely ruthless. They don't often need too many opportunities to capitalise. Their ratio in terms of points scored on 22 entries is the envy of many teams around them. Taken into contact by Harry Byrne. He wanted to fire that out to Dave Carney on the left wing, and away goes Luke McGrath. Elusive snipe around the fringes, as is always his want and his way, but it's another big shrill blast from Sam Grove White, holding on. Penalty Stormers.
15 then playing the ball on the ground.
Yeah, that's good counter ruck by Stormers. Their defensive system wasn't in place. They bought a dummy there off Luke McGrath down the blind side. It was a lovely little half break by him. This is a previous phase, and Michael Milne showing his strength in contact, getting over the gain line, having been with Ireland. This here, lovely dummy by McGrath, but just from here then, very aggressive counter ruck by the Stormers and Leinster and fringe.
A couple of really strong carries already by Michael Milne, making his 5th start of the season. A player galvanised by being in Ireland camp around the Six Nations.
We'll get them in, but you form your line, please.
Just a second game against South African opposition this season for this Leinster side, having beaten the Sharks here in a pulsating, thrilling game back in October. Scored 8 tries that afternoon.
Use it, 9.
In conditions extremely more favourable than we have tonight. But it's been a very lively opening 11 minutes with more than its fair share of kicking. Good take from the dependable and vastly experienced Dave Carney. Rhys Ruddock in a similar vein. Harry Byrne, nice hands. Good to see Kieran Frawley back in that number 12 shirt, having acquitted himself well at fullback in Edinburgh, having come back from a lengthy injury. Scott Penny, 2 tries against Edinburgh, which helped towards his man of the match accolade. Yet another one for the prolific try-scoring open side flanker.
Not now.
McGrath. Oh, it's tricky for Lebok. The ball was swerving in field, but now from this back 3, but that's been coughed up and it's been pinched by Rob Russell. Can he set up a Leinster attack on that 10-metre line? Ball just goes forward.
Stormers get possession again, but a great bit of defence there by Liam Turner. Very, very hard for McGrath to get real distance on that kick into the wind, but this is exactly the type of ball that normally the Stormers are really dangerous with. You just see it's actually Rob Russell gets in there and gets that strip in contact combined with Liam Turner.
Slow, bind to set.
Conditions are going to be very difficult. Handling is going to be absolutely crucial. A team that can manage the ball retention and get the handling right, great chance of winning this game.
Hold your weight.
Well, all the chat pre-game was about the wind and the ferocity of it. It's now being matched by heavy sheets of rain pouring into the RDS Stadium from away to our left-hand side, into the Leinster players' faces, as you can see. Rhys Ruddock there. John McKee in the middle of that front row, flanked by Michael Milne and Michael Alalatoa.
This is going to be a very interesting area of the game, Connery, obviously, with Kitshoff and Mal Herba, top quality props up against Alatoa. In fairness, who's an international and a valuable player for Leinster, with Furlong being away, but big evening from Michael Milne.
Bind up, please. Let's go.
He certainly is. 58 times capped Springbok tight head Frans Malherbe, 2-time World Cup player. Not to mention the 138 kilograms that he brings up against Michael Milne, the young 24-year-old from Offaly, making just his 28th appearance for Leinster.
Bind. Set.
And a good shot of that particular contest there, and still it's raging on. Leinster go down. Ball is available for the Stormers scrum half, and Paul Devet is told by the referee to use it, which he does to Lebok.
7 offside.
It's another penalty for the Stormers and an opportunity to gain yet further field position.
7.
Yeah, really smart by Dion Fourie there.
7 has come off the scrum.
He makes the referee aware Scott Penny had broken away. broke away really blatantly. It was like he was a scrum half. Look at how far away he is there, and you see Dean Fore, he eventually gets up and just makes it obvious to the referee, who had seemed to miss it, but maybe he was working with his AR to call it back. But it looked like Stormers just about to get a little nudge there when that collapsed, but I think the referee was happy to make him play away, except for the infringement from Scott Penny.
I can't have your boys being slow to form.
That's a huge kick from Manny Lebock, another player under the microscope tonight in these high-profile, top-of-the-table clashes, given his ascension towards the Springbok conversation, having been involved back in November, made his debut against France, and he's pumped that right down to 8 or 9 metres shy of the Leinster try line. Then they come to formation slowly under the lights at the RDS and in the lead, and difficult for kickers and throwers and for everyone tonight, and that's a little bit of a let-off for Leinster.
Yeah, mislift there. Definitely not the hooker's fault. Just seemed to get a communication wrong. Obviously looking to build a maul off the middle, but backlifter was missing.
Form your line.
It was only 15 minutes gone, but you know, you feel with that wind and the rain behind, the Stormers really need to make sure they profit from any periods of territory they get.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see as the game goes on just how many points are in that wind. We know Leinster so good at retaining possession and squeezing teams as they can. And really 3 points is a relatively paltry return for the dominance that the Stormers have had early on here. Van Heerden gets himself involved with a good straight dynamic carry. Big tackle from Ross Maloney, always on the move, but they're still moving forward here, the Stormers, and it's left for De Vet, and he's got plenty of big options. Taken home by Fourie, De Vet again, and they're straight in front of those Leinster posts again as we talk about perhaps getting more out of this Leinster defence than that penalty that they've got so far from Lebock. Kitsoff is poised and ready as they reload the gun, but instead they go to Malherbe this time. Drop at goal potentially for Lebock in a very good position. Just scooted off the outside of his boot. He hurried it rather as he was in the perfect position.
Yeah, it's rare we see teams go for a drop goal so early in the game, particularly with the wind behind you. No penalty advantage. I think they'd be better served keeping that ball in hand. I haven't seen so many pops off the ground against Leinster in a long time. It just shows the dominance of the Stormers. Players in their carries, they're getting past that initial contact. Leinster can't get any purchase on the ball, and they're able to pop it up to another man coming onto that speed. So, you know, really impressive power game from the Stormers.
Leinster in the shape of 3 players converging there to bring a powerful end to that Stormers attack. All action, 17.5 minutes in now. Byrne thought about kicking, elected to keep the ball in hand.
Leave it, Stormers. Yeah,
pile of bodies, and the ball is there. It's still live, says the referee. Leinster just managing to hold on to it. Luke McGrath.
Counter was fine by 3.
It was the tight head prop Franz Malherbe who's been putting himself around the pitch in the opening quarter of an hour or so. Into the backfield to the informed Clayton Blumenski's couple of tries last time out against the Sharks, and lovely offload from Willemse. This is what the Stormers backline has been doing all season. Hartzenberg wasn't held in the tackle quite legally, back to his feet, and De Vet, look how quickly he's feeding those big ball carriers. Dweeba involved again. Lebock now as they go a little bit deeper. Blumenkies tries the little grubber through. It's tricky for Jordan Larmour. Didn't knock it all. The referee was in a good position. Even his elusive feet can't get beyond that wall of Stormers defenders. Yeah, he did knock it forward.
Yeah, but again, the Stormers handling is superb. The offloading. This is the little grubber kick through. In fairness, Larmour, he just slips as he's going for that. He was already going towards the corner. He expected to have to make a tackle in the corner or cover. Little grubber kick through. But this, you know, their ability to get back up again. This time it's not a pop off the ground, but just Leinster aren't able to hit and stick.
Bind up early, and I'll get them to bind up early.
Just this offload.
Yep. Right, we're scrumming now. Let's go,
Support
please.
play, the footwork,
Time's off.
asking a lot of
I
questions
need
to
you to
Leinster
find that
defenders,
quicker
and
than you are.
at the moment Leinster are finding the answer, but you just feel
Yes, I want
you're
you
on
to
the
find it.
verge
I
of,
want you to
of
wait.
conceding something more than 3 points.
Both of you bind up quicker. Both. The game is not the bind game, lads. Yeah, good on you.
Let's go, boys! Let's go, boys! Go! Go, Penny, on the break.
Crouch! Yes.
Position
Bind!
that the Stormers will relish testing
Leinster
Leinster here. Perfect platform, and Leinster a
Overleaning
little
you.
bit edgy. Give away the free kick.
Scrum option.
No surprise.
I'll tell you what I'm seeing. I'm seeing you go down and lean into him and then stand up and complain. Hold your weight.
It's only third scrum, but in fairness, the scrums are taking a long time to get their bind right. You know, and that's going against what we've been seeing in international rugby and URC recently. Everything's been happening much quicker. Lineouts are getting set much quicker. The scrum setup is much quicker. So hopefully the referee will get on top of this and we'll see a really good contest, but not spend over a minute waiting for each scrum to get set.
Set! Stay up.
So in it goes from the vet, closely marshalled as always by Luke McGrath, just waiting to seize any opportunity. A much better scrum from Leinster. It's wheeling around, the ball has come out and it's been picked up by Ruben van Heerden, the man who's looking to stay at the Stormers. He's on loan from Exeter. Good carry into that Leinster 5-metre channel, and here they come again now. Dweeba, Malherbe and Kitsoff either side. Big targets, out the back cleverly to Lebok. Lovely little slip. Oh, that's a magnificent try. Absolutely scythes his way through the centre of that Leinster defence. They were all looking for the big ball carriers, and then the pass out the back, and the fly half went straight through the middle.
Yeah, but it comes off the back of a very, very strong scrum, and it's not the 8 that picks. You can see it's picked from the middle of the scrum by Van Heerden as it splinters away. Excellent by him, and once he gets in behind him here, this is much better from the Stormers. This is quick ball, a pick go through the middle, strong carry from the hooker, and then once Libok throws that dummy, he's got to score. And does he what footwork, what pace. He gets inside a couple of Leinster defenders.
Early weight and standing up. That last one was
Liam Turner was fooled by the dummy. Scott Penny couldn't make the tackle. Nobody could lay a glove on the DHL Stormers fly half, Manny Lebok, who's accounted for all the points so far this evening, and he's just converted his own try. And the gauntlet has been well and truly thrown down to Leinster here by the champions.
It was really good, that last one. So keep doing that. I'll watch that. I was happy, but the first two was different.
Yeah, that's a good return for them. The first quarter being dominant. Big challenge laid down to Leinster here. It's a really good mix of youth and experience for this Leinster team. I've no doubt they'll step up to the plate and make this game a real competitive match.
He's looked very lively already this evening. Dan Duplessis, the player in good form, 15th start of the season. He's been virtually ever present. And having just got themselves a 7-pointer at the other end, a clean exit.
Ball's there.
A little bit of prudent play. Top 6 inches here for the Stormers now. Skyward it goes from the scrum half, swirling around, really difficult. Good kick chase led by Senakla.
Blue ball. No, not for us.
Leinster will get the throw. John McKee with
You'll
more
have a
work to
scrum,
do.
Yeah, we see that try again. Leinster were short.
Excuse me.
After that initial scrum dominance and pick and go, and a good carry from Dweeba opens up that opportunity for the
Yeah, in we go, Leinster, now we go.
And if he made an error going for the drop goal, he made up for it there.
The third try in the United Rugby Championship this season for Manny Lebok. Beyond 150 points all told for the campaign, 153 now. Luke McGrath waits for Leinster. Oh, a little bit of traffic in the way of Rob Russell, but he judged that coming over his shoulder so difficult. Almost took it.
Yeah, that could have easily been a try for Leinster. Brilliant kick by McGrath. You see Rob Russell, he's having to swerve to avoid the kick escort, and if he catches that on the full, there's no cover in the backfield. But horrible night for anyone in the back three. With both nines, excellent kickers in the ball, getting lots of height on it and swerving in the rain and wind.
Yeah. I like last picture, stay square. Thank you.
Plenty of chat from the respective front rows towards the man in charge, Sam Grove-White. It seemed a better Leinster scrum last time on the defect put in.
Crouch! Bind!
Croyd trying to lift this Leinster side. They don't often see their team put under the pump like this in the opening quarter of the game. It's a big test for Leo Cullen's side, and that's going to go all the way. It's going to run and run all night long.
Yeah, he didn't do a huge amount wrong there. He found grass, he split the Leinster backfield cover, but obviously with the greasy ball, that's a big momentum swing for Leinster as that ball goes dead.
You got scrum, yeah.
There's a right battle going on the right hand side of the scrum here between Mal Herb and Michael Milne. He's not taking a backward step.
And you need to just keep up. He's going to work his binder, so. Yeah. No different on their ball, please. Right
idea there for the Stormers 10. Just a little bit unlucky with the conditions. This ball gets away on him.
Thanks.
So there is Milne closest to us. And Franz Malherbe, 8 years his senior. As I said, heading towards 60 Springbok caps. Michael Milne at the other end of his career. Made his debut in 2019, then had to wait almost 3 years for his first Leinster start.
Let's go.
He's a big lad, but I'm not seeing a lead.
Master of the understatements, the referee.
Crouch! Bind!
Stormers have won 27 penalties before tonight, so add 2 to that is 29, and 5 free kicks this season on their own feet. Now Luke McGrath spins away up into that Stormers 22, and Leinster come alive with Russell. McGrath back in position. Milne takes it on and runs straight into a couple of very big units. Malherbe one of those, and Van Heerden there too. Harry Byrne goes flat to McKee. Jenkins over it, and this is better from Leinster, taken on by Maloney. The lock forward, the clear out from Rhys Ruddock on Dion Foree, I think it was. Penny there too. McKee once more. It's a good carry, dynamic, low body position, pumping the legs and driving on Max Deegan too. Ball was almost out, and Rhys Ruddock, the Leinster captain now, finding it hard to get beyond Marvin O'Ree. They pile around the corner. Byrne on that late sweep. They'll have to come back again. Ross Maloney is moving a little bit gingerly. Rhys Ruddock again. He's the go-to man in this attacking set from Leinster. Barking the orders is Jordan Larmour. Alan Latoa takes it on. Harry Byrne, he's put too much on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a win for the Stormers' defence. In fairness, you can see Leinster, they're trying to play down that 50-metre channel, trying to take the sting out of that line speed that the Stormers come with by playing 2 passes, but this you know, that's not supposed to be down the blind side. It's just the way the ball shot out. Luke McGrath took the opportunity, and from there Leinster got a couple of good carries, but you just see eventually slides it through, and again, like we saw with Libbok, very hard to get that ball to stick with a greasy condition. So good defensive set from the Stormers at a time when Leinster really upped the ante, trying to lay down a marker and get back into this game.
Yeah, I like your counting. Keep going.
Good hang time on the kick from Libbok, which made it contestable from a Stormers' point of view. Jenkins did well, and it's McGrath in position again. Kieran Frawley now changes the point of the attack. He spots a lot of space over in that backfield. maybe just didn't get the zip off the turf that he might have expected, and a few of the Leinster supporters a long way from our vantage point thought that was extremely flat and maybe a little bit forward.
Yeah, good. You love to see back three players trying to try something here. Libbok obviously spends a lot of time in the backfield on kick return, and
thank you.
that angle looks like it maybe was forward. Leinster fans are going to shout us forward anyway, but I thought it was a lovely kick by Frawley against the grain just to find that space, and now Leinster have a chance here with Stewart.
They work it tight
Start on.
down the tram lines, trying to just catch the Stormers nodding off. They've been absolutely full tilt for the opening 29.5 minutes, and all hands to the pump defensively. Rhys Ruddock almost just using the referee as a little bit of a shield there as he pulverised into the tackle again and spilled by McKee.
Clear advantage.
Stormers with the knock-on advantage, and they're getting these little wins because of their commitment to
Stop in front.
their defensive line speed, and they have the option to play now, but the referee may well call advantage over here once the ball has been kicked. So that's a win for Turner and Leinster. Uncharacteristically loose from the Leinster outside centre. There was nobody there whatsoever. McGrath, Milne again. Harry Byrne, and look at that commitment to the tackle. Not one but two players, and it brings the turnover, and it's in the hands of Fourie. Quickly shovels it away.
Advantage over.
Dion Fourie is the turnover king in this Stormer side this season. 15 before tonight.
9, use it.
It's never going to be a perfect game in these conditions, but it's been pretty good from two very accomplished sides for the opening 30 minutes. And Leinster sensing maybe they can get something here. They look to play with Deegan. Oh, risk and reward, but despite the touch, he finds Penny, and it needs no second invitation to get those legs pumping. Off he goes. Leinster need to scrum half.
Ball's out.
Dave Carney obliges, and then it was hurried from Harry Byrne into Alalatoa.
First man.
Showed good hands. It's another big turnover. Leinster getting no change out of the Stormers' rearguard really whatsoever.
First man to steal from 3.
And a relieving thump finds grass in the backfield and inside the Leinster 22, and off goes McKee, but he doesn't get far. Diamani. Harry Byrne, oh, that was a risky pass to Turner, almost died on the outside centre. McGrath is there, and
ball was out.
Leinster fans felt their team might have had an offside, but this time they get the decision. Ironic cheers.
Deliver knock-on.
Yeah, I was just about to say, up till now it's been
time off.
I'll have a listen to the TMO or the assistant referee.
See, there's a line break.
Yes.
What's the number? Sure, Menners, can you just get us? P thinks there's a line break. We think it's 11. Can you confirm, please?
So we're looking at the deliberate knock-on.
Yeah.
And we're looking for a line break.
Yeah, please.
And it's white number 11.
Yeah, please.
TMO this evening at the RDS is Andrew McMenemy, and he's going to assess the actions with Sam Grove wide of Siabolos and Akla in making this tackle.
So yeah, it's a little bit knock-on, happy with that. Wide angle, please.
Wide angle's coming now, Sam.
Well, there's 3 or 4 Leinster players, isn't there, lining up to the right-hand side. Maybe only 2 Stormers there in defensive position.
It's just a penalty. There is a line break. It's a deliberate knock-on, though.
Yeah, I think that's a fair decision by the officials.
No line break.
I was just about to say, up to now, it's nearly been a textbook defensive performance by the Stormers. I think the Stormers defensive coach, Norman Laker, who apparently is on the radar of Toulon as a big signing over the summer. He'd be so happy because they've got the balance right between, you know, not going near the rucks, getting 2-man hits, counter rucks, the odd jackal turnover. You know, they're using their scrum half, Paul the vet, to do the Faf de Klerk type defence where he shoots out of the line, and it's just causing all kinds of problems for Leinster at the moment. They haven't been able to find a rhythm, which is so rare for them, but it's down to this defence from the Stormers.
Maloney from McKee's throw, and there's Frawley in the line.
Stay there, stay there.
Tenacity around the tackle area indicated there by Ben Jason Dixon. Good from Byrne. They're having to work really hard here, Leinster, to find any daylight, any chinks in the defensive armoury of this Stormers side. Maloney, fairly orthodox, up the guts approach, as you might expect from the lock forward. And away they go here. LeBoc pins his ears back, opens his shoulder, needs support, has support, gets the offload away. And out of nothing, having been under the pump defensively, in goes Suleiman Hartzenberg, and it's a big, big score for the champions.
Yeah, and it comes off that defence again. There was a little gap for Harry Byrne. He made a half line break, but what the Stormers do is they send you into areas you don't want to go to. And you just see here, just the ball dropped by Frawley as he tries to go back against the grain. Quick as a light, Libbok gets it. I thought he would have had the pace to go all the way, but I think it's Larmer gets back and he's just tracking him down, but brilliant support.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, that's the athleticism and speed of this Stormers team, but they've really come here with a load of energy and are forcing so many errors out of this Leinster team. And look, to be fair, there's a big wind behind their back, so they probably need to be 15, 16 points up, but it's been very impressive.
Really impressive so far.
Thanks.
And this man's fingerprints are found all over it so far. Now he needs to get the heart rate down and just take the easy two, let nothing slip. And 17 points is a big lead for any side to have in the RDS, irrespective of the conditions.
Well, just be aware anyone that goes early we get.
But even that handle error, it's coming from Leinster being afraid or unable to get to width, so they're coming back against the grain. And you know, there's Stormers players in the eye line of Frawley there, and a pass just goes slightly behind him.
Oh, swirling around. Tough evening for Rob Russell under those high kicks over on that right hand side, even in the shade of the Anglesey stand, which is almost full. Leinster fans know their side are facing a big, big task this evening. Still 5 minutes to half time. Can Leinster get themselves on the board? Scott Penny, good carry, taken to ground by Van Heerden. Quicker ball for McGrath, out the back to Jordan Larmer. Haven't really seen him with any opportunity to show what he can do with that elusive footwork that he has. No space out there whatsoever. Did that go forward? No, Milne has protected it there for Luke McGrath. And Harry Byrne again, out the back to Turner. A lot of Stormers players on their feet as Leinster recycle and go again, which means the first receiver gets absolutely no time on the ball whatsoever. They're up in the faces of Leinster players almost instantly, and then they're combining with chop tackles and players over the ball too. Jenkins uses his hands. Harry Byrne to Frawley now. Space inside for Frawley. He's a beautiful footwork. They use hands and feet to try and penetrate in behind, and they just run out of pitch on that far side.
Yeah, that's better by Leinster. 8 phases. In actual fact, they were going backwards each phase, but eventually that opportunity opened up. They got a ball a little bit more width. Frawley, obviously, consummate footballer, just shoves it in behind. And it's space in the backfield. If that could just stay in for a second, there's a real chance. But again, that slippery surface just takes Rob Russell out. Key moment in the game here if Leinster can get a score just before half-time. Stormers in no rush.
No.
Go for a 3-man line out.
Oh, it's right over the top. Opportunity for McKee. And it opened up for him. And now on the secondary surge, Scott Penny. Look at that tackle, forcing Penny backwards. Oh!
Offside 3.
Offside against Franz Mallard. Penalty Leinster, and he needed it.
So this is the quick tap Tap range, we've seen so many variations from Leinster so far this year. Have they got something up their sleeve, or are they going to go to the more orthodox?
Well, the Scott Penny one against Edinburgh was brilliant. They go to Rhys Ruddock. He feigns to throw one wide right.
Not now. No.
Ran out of time, ran out of space, and now they're over the ball, but illegally so. So we might see another tap penalty or potentially a line-out if nothing comes from this from Harry Byrne. And again,
Off feet.
it's a low percentage play, albeit he knows he's got penalty advantage.
He's second man in and he's going off feet. No. On the line.
2 minutes to half-time. Stephen Kitsoff wants a word with the referee. The Stormers have to be careful here, infringing deep into the red zone, as it were. Oh, that little disguise pass back from Penny to Alolatoa. Dixon is over it. It's there for Luke McGrath. Oh, he's short and he's pushed back. Deegan now gets the radar working. Scott Penny usually finds a way through. On this occasion he can't. McKee, there's another advantage. The referee's patience being tested. The defence is being tested. Leinster's composure and their ability for those one-out runners to win the battle of inches and shoulders around the fringes is being tested too. 39th minute of the first half, trailing by 17. Alolatoa, McGrath, Lormer. Can he work his magic? He's beaten one, got away from Dweeva, ran into two players. Numbers left potentially for Leinster. They can get it away. Milne, if he can get it down, and he can. Patience pays huge dividends for Leinster. And the informed try-scoring prop forward, he got two last time, is the man that dot it down, and that could prove a big score.
Yeah, that's a great response by Leinster. Probably go to Larmer a little bit early. He gets swallowed up, but from here, just a work rate around the corner. You see Max Deegan. That ball goes across Scott Penny, a lovely little pop pass, and the big loosehead prop has the strength to get down, but much better from Leinster. Big reaction to them, and they're out-muscled by the Stormers team, but that time they got their body height right, and we're just getting underneath the shoulders of the Stormers defence and forced a couple of penalty advantages.
The gap looks good for me. It's when you guys come down. I'll keep an eye on that, but make sure you meet them in the middle. Henderson?
Sixth try in Leinster colours for the Offaly man Michael Milne, and his third in the last couple of games as the clock turns to red beyond the 40.
No, it's good, isn't it?
He's like a golfer on the first tee, doesn't know which way to hit this because the wind is swirling around. The posts bending this way and that. Yeah, it's so difficult. Great 40 minutes of top of the table United Rugby Championship action, and full credit to our visitors from Cape Town, the DHL Stormers, the champions, putting it up to Leo Collins Leinster in their own backyard. A couple of tries in the first half, but that's a big score from Michael Milne right on the whistle. Half-time score is Leinster 5, Stormers 17.
Yeah.
Welcome back then for the second 40 minutes of this top of the table clash at the RDS in Dublin. The champions in the ascendancy, turning around, leading by 17 points to 5. Really impressive opening half from the Stormers, but the next 5 minutes, Bernard, is crucial.
Yeah, it's been a brilliant half for the Stormers, but it's two areas that have let them down. Two key lineouts, one on their own 5-metre channel, which led to that try. One on 10 yards out from the Leinster line, and the kickoffs. They've let two kickoffs bounce on the full, which has given Leinster field position, and they hope they don't rue that.
Just thinking back to the last time Leinster found themselves in this kind of position at the RDS, and your mind wanders back immediately to that Ulster game back in December here, when Ulster were 22 points to 10 up at half-time, so the same margin, 12 points in front. Cian Healy was off with after a red card in that game. Leinster's response that night was to score 28 unanswered points and win the match by 38 points to 29. So if you poke the bear at the RDS, it often comes back roaring and rampaging at you. But I don't see any signs that the Stormers will give up this lead cheaply. They turned it over as they did 4 or 5 times, crucially, inside their own half in that opening 40 minutes. And now the kick chase is on. Nothing easy for players in the backfield, even players of the experience and calibre of Dave Carney. And it's a decent handoff on Marvin O'Ree. Just buys himself a little bit of time and a yard of space. In behind to Turner.
Off feet.
He's tackled by Dweeba. All action opening 40 minutes from the Stormers front rower. Now then, Luke McGrath.
Stay in front. Stay in front.
Harry Byrne. Off the outside of that boot, and it straightens up for Manny LeBuc. 12 points in the first half, and that one's hanging, holding up in the breeze, and it's difficult.
10.
Brilliant take from Scott Penny in there,
2 Stormers
showing
offside.
his versatility. A couple of players offside, take your pick, says Sam Grove-White. Penalty advantage for Leinster here as Milne endeavours to take it on. Can't get any change out of that Stormers rear guard. Out the back from Byrne, and big hit coming in again from Ben Jason Dixon on the open side flank for the Stormers. Back we go for the infringement.
2, you. Offside.
Yeah, but it's 2 poor kicks from the Stormers. I know they're playing against the wind now, but you would have felt in the first half they got a sense of how strong it was, and they've tried to go really high and contestable, and it just haven't got any distance.
Offside 10.
We just see there the hooker Joseph Dweeba, who's a real powerful player, ex-Bordeaux. Has struggled a little bit in the past with his throwing. His throwing's actually been quite good tonight, just missed a few lifts, but look what it's led to.
In those kicks, everyone needs to
Great
get
kick
the
from Harry Byrne. He punches pack 6 metres out, and this is where Leinster's so good. They just, once again, this position here, they just pound the opposition defence over and over again.
And that's a brilliant kick. Measured it superbly, because if he gets too excited and it goes 3 or 4 metres further, he's the villain of the piece. To the front they go on Maloney. Good setup, and now Josh van der Fleer style in the Six Nations. Scott Penny on the other flank pile drives his way over, and we've only played 3.5 minutes of the second half, and Leinster are eating their way into this advantage.
Well, they didn't need to go to plan B, which is pound the defence. They broke off the front of that maul. Really good line at Ross Maloney. He's their go-to guy. And to see they win that front edge, really good play by Max Deegan. He takes out, you see Max Deegan here, he comes around, he takes out Kitchoff and the next defender, and that leaves a real gap. And Scott Penny, I mean, he scores so many tries. Usually it's true pick and go, but here he's just, Michael Alatola does a great job as well. It's just the speed at which they shear off is really impressive, and that's one Robin McBride will take great pride out of. You can't take this Stormers maul defence on, you know, in a battle of power. You need to be quick, you need to find angles, do it quickly, and Leinster spun around that 5 metre channel really quickly there, and they're so good at scoring. We spoke about just before half time and now just after half time, and that's what championship teams do, but this game is still very much in the balance.
Yeah, those all important clutch moments before and after half-time. 2 big tries. First Milne before half-time, Scott Penny 3.5 minutes after, and he seemingly always finds his way to the try line. 2 tries and a man-of-the-match display against Edinburgh last time out, and he's on the score sheet again. 28th try for Leinster, and this is 53rd appearance.
Leinster, use it.
Bordering on the ridiculous for an open side flanker. We say it every time. He's probably not done for the evening either.
Yeah, and a good solid clearance by Leinster. Luke McGrath, he's such a key man for Leinster now. Obviously, Jamison Gibson Park has got into that Irish squad ahead of him, but if you speak to some of the Leinster coach and players, Luke McGrath has been integral to this unbeaten run so far for Leinster this season.
Yes, we're talking about a player who's not been capped since that Rugby World Cup quarter-final, and a reminder that he played in all 5 of Ireland's games in Japan, off the bench in each of them. Daimani that time was on the end of Dweeba's throw, and they go to Dan Duplessis.
Use it.
Devet straight down the middle of the pitch, and Sometimes when it lands in the hands of Jordan Larmour, everyone holds their breath because you don't know what's going to come next. Gets it into Max Deegan. Kitsoff makes the tackle. Nowhere to go but the boot for McGrath, really. Pumps it down into Stormers territory, beyond the 10-metre line. Counter-attack now. John Dobson talking a lot about transition and absorb, attack, as he said during the week. Game management too in these conditions will be crucial in the second 40 minutes. We know Leinster very, very accomplished in that regard.
Let's go.
Skyward again from the Stormers scrum half. Good claim from Luke McGrath. So dependable, so solid, like the man in possession too, Rhys Ruddock, the Leinster captain this evening.
Stay in front. Mark that, lads.
Straight down the middle this time is the option from Harry Byrne. Takes a little bit off it, just with adapting to that breeze that's behind him, and LeBoc is full of running tonight. He's got his antenna working. Byrne has a little bit of look, and he's put one off the outside of the boot. Oh, he's measured that beautifully.
That's a great kick in the condition, just flirting with the touchline there.
There'll be no quick one.
Lovely counter-attack from LeBoc, but when that kick goes infield, that opens it up for Harry Byrne, and they just don't get that cover across in time. And he spots that. You see LeBoc down the backfield, or Sonata in the backfield, trying to cover across, but he gets it over the winger's head, and brilliant bit of play by Harry Byrne.
This is inside. So
well, let's not forget was Andy Farrell's, third choice 10 for Ireland, but just has so many injuries. He hasn't had a run of form, and his brother Ross Byrne has usurped him now and is now very much firmly number 2 behind Johnny Sexton.
Just checking if it was inside. It is at 50-22, of course, therefore it has to be inside the 22, having been kicked from inside the Leinster half of the field, and that's what put Leinster in prime position. Max Deegan off a quick ball from Luke McGrath, but he's sized down by Dweeba. He now has got to get himself back in that defensive line and back on side as Ruddock takes it on again. Ball is there for Luke McGrath. Scott Penny. Mill now just sizes up his options, invites a couple of big tackles, and Byrne now flat to the line into McKee. Harry Byrne waits again. He's got that little pocket of players just out the back, and Deegan takes it on. Right and then left and then into Alalatoa. Straight up the middle. Good service again from McGrath, but it's good defence from the Stormers now. Can they fracture it in any way in the wider channels, Leinster, with the likes of Larmour? Eventually the penalty advantage comes for Leinster as the Stormers transgress. It's going to be a 6th penalty against them, and it brings the crossfield kick, which just catches the breeze and sails out of play.
Yeah, better by Leinster though, starting to get some quicker ball, and Stormers are putting 2 men into every tackle, just trying to slow it down. It's incredibly physical, this game. And Rhys Ruddock, he's such a workhorse for Leinster, but tonight he's had to carry so much ball and trying to slip between tacklers, but find it hard to just get a line break, that clean line break that Leinster want. You see here, really good read by Hartzenberg, and I think it's off this ruck here, they slightly go offside.
Yeah.
Will they go down the front again?
Well, they look to go to the front, but it's read and picked off by Kitsoff. Really good work from the Stormers captain. And now there's a gallop downfield, and what about the pace of that man Diamani all the way into the Leinster 22. Gets his offload away. Leinster funnel back, and they stop them right on the try line. And that's going to be a turnover penalty. Oh, what a moment in the game.
That is unbelievable. I think that's the first line out Stephen Kitchoff's ever caught, and he was very smart. He got the ball to the pace man, the big number 8. Just see here, he jumps for it as well. But there's no one in the backfield here, and Diamani's so quick, but what a chase. Rhys Ruddock doesn't get to him. It was Liam Turner initially, and then look at Rhys Ruddock. He gets in over the ball.
Time's off.
And Rob Russell, you
Time's
see him
off
there,
there,
his
Dan.
hands are on.
Stop.
Yeah, it's a massive, massive moment in the game.
Away.
The pace of Hakjiva Diamani. He's 105 kilograms and 6'2" tall in frame, the number 8, and he runs 100 metres in sub 11 seconds. Even on a wet and windy night like this at the RDS, he took some stopping. Just some treatment here for, I think it's Kieran Frawley, who, as we know, has been in the wars.
Very isolated
Yeah,
player.
it's a great tackle by Frawley.
I'll keep an eye.
You see Rob Russell here. Rhys Ruddock, I think that's... Rhys Ruddock is bound onto him, trying to hold him in position here, trying to make sure that it's hard for him to shift, but I think there's a wrap in that, to be honest.
It's the back of the shoulder. There's no head or neck contact in that.
So we're not TMO here, but what are you telling me, Manners?
No, it's the back of the shoulder. There is no head or neck contact in that clear out.
So there's no foul play?
No.
Right, yeah, we're not checking it. There's no foul play, no. I see injured, so we're not going foul play. So if he's fine, we're going to get up and play.
That's why I have so much admiration for jacklers. You know, you're in that vulnerable
want
position. You
players
could
to
see
stay
Rob
down like
Russell.
that if there's no injury.
He was waiting for that impact to come. And in fairness to the Stormers player, he does wrap. He doesn't have any head contact. It's just a genuine clear out. Fair play to the referee, not getting influenced by the crowd on this occasion.
Rob Russell is fine. It looks as though Kieran Frawley is okay for the moment, at least. I think it was a bang to the shoulder that the Leinster number 12 took. Yeah, you could almost see Rhys Ruddock knew what was coming. He was almost looking to protect Rob Russell in that situation, and Marvin O'Ree was coming in at a rate of knots. There's John Dobson communicating all the while, trying to get messages onto the pitch, how just to adapt to the changing conditions and the change in Leinster fortunes. It's been all them in this second half.
Never back on. Ball was out, but he's offside. Ball was out, 5's offside.
So in the first half, the Stormers did a brilliant job of bringing that intensity, bringing that energy, bringing that chaotic type of defence without giving away penalties. But you're starting to see a few offsides now, and if you do that against Leinster, they'll just pin you back down, especially with this wind, and you find it very hard to win the game.
You asked the question, I'd have told you no. Because you were right, but you're just offside. That's okay.
And they're losing the penalty count in the second half. It was even at half-time, 4 apiece.
To be fair to the Stormers player, it was out. There was no bind there. But his referee said to him, you need to ask.
Well, he trusted his own judgment, and he didn't get the benefit of the doubt from the referee. Rhys Ruddock takes the line out, and Harry Byrne just pops one inside to Deegan and says, off you go. The hits keep coming. Frantic, frenetic, no space at all. Carney into contact. Malherbe takes him to ground. Through the hands of Maloney, and I thought it was going to be fly kicked downfield by Sinakla. In behind Turner. He's done well again. He's having a good season.
Leave it. We're playing advantage anyway.
There's a Leinster advantage here. Frawley puts one out the back to Lorimer.
Advantage over.
And now it's advantage over. Tricky one for Carney. Heading towards 50 tries in a Leinster shirt, Dave Carney.
You would have been fine.
Thumped downfield. Oh, it's so tricky for Blue McKees. He's got to be quick. They've knocked it on, and Leinster have picked it up with Turner. Maloney was screaming for it. Numbers to the right-hand side. They go to McKee. Support back inside from the big lock forward, and Ross Maloney carries Leinster towards the try line, and Russell carries them over it. 9th try of the season for the prolific Leinster winger, and it is very much game on now.
Yeah, and again it's defence into attack. It's a brilliant kick from Harry Byrne, just not very difficult to deal with. And I think there's a penalty advantage there because the ball's knocked on, but into a retreating player, but Turner's first on it. Great off of McKee. Ross Maloney boshing his way through tackles, and that's a lovely pass from Michael Milne, the loose head prop. He knows Russell is free on the outside.
Keane Pete, that's 50 in. What are we thinking?
That's a great pass.
Yeah.
And even Dion Fury can't stop Russell from that range.
They're getting a bit lazier here, though.
So from
Thanks, mate.
17-0 up, Harry Byrne and Leinster within touching distance. Huge degree of difficulty, and it's not quite going to come around enough on the draw from that right boot. 2-point game though, and Leinster know in that huddle that they're very much in the ascendancy, looking to strike again when the iron is very hot.
Yeah, I think tactically by Leinster, really good play by Harry Byrne, understanding that the Stormers are starting to get dominant tackles. You've got to try and find space in the backfield, and you know, with the wind, with the greasy conditions, there's a high chance of an error like that, and if the kick chase is good, you can profit from it.
So Nietling Fouché is in for Franz Malherbe, and Paul de Vet called ashore as Herschel Yankees, the 23 times captain Springbok, comes into the fray now.
Scrum advantage. Start on.
It's a decent bench that John Dobson and the Stormers have brought to the Northern Hemisphere tonight. It's a relatively speaking, a very inexperienced Leinster defence, a bench rather. And they find themselves on the defensive here against that man, Diamani. Yankees now to Lebok, took a touch on the way through. Leinster are just growing in confidence, and Larmour, will-o'-the-wisp, elusive, they can't touch him. Moths to the flame, they're drawn in, and Leinster go wide to Deegan. Look at the pace about this Leinster side now, full of ambition, full of belief, galvanised by those 3 tries without reply. Milne, Penny and Russell. Ball's bubbling around, and Stormers have it. And Stormers have an opportunity here, potentially, if they play their cards right. Very often going straight to Sinakla is a good option in behind. No knock on, Kits off now. He thought about testing his distribution off his left hand with an inside pass, takes the contact instead. Yankees now to Lebok. Lebok once more, and to Blumenkies, who'll be annoyed with himself for his part in that latest Leinster try, looking to make amends. Diamani all the way out to Hartzenberg. Ball's in touch, is it? And it's being held on the floor. There's a Leinster hand on it. Eventually it's there for the Stormers and their replacement scrum half. Good stretch on the arm to take the ball away from a potential jackler and make it available for Yankees. Incessant pressure from Leinster. The charge down and the kick. Which way will the bounce go? It's a rhetorical question. Everything is going the way of Leinster now. That is magnificent.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it's going to be really hard for Yankees just on to get that box kick right in the conditions. You see, it takes a long time, and it's great pressure. I think it's Max Deegan gets a hand to it, and from that ball bouncing back, Harry Byrne doesn't need a second invitation. Slips the ball in behind. There's a bit of a round out. Don't know what started that.
We were too busy admiring another amazing 50-22 from the boot of Harry Byrne, and all of a sudden it's all come a cropper over on that far side. A few bodies on the ground, and it'll simmer down as quickly as it reached boiling point again. What a battle this is.
I nearly wish the Leinster were playing a South African team at home every week. The Sharks game earlier on in the year was the last time I've been here where the game has really been in the balance, and the crowd are feeding off that. The atmosphere is building.
There was not acceptable. Control your players. Next time we penalise and we go further, okay? The ball was charged down, so it's going to be a Stormers ball. Can't be 50-20 if a charge down.
The time before that, of course, was the semi-final, which was similar against Jake White's Bulls at the back end of last season. Full value for the 15,653 in here.
It's very frantic.
Yes.
Hold on, no ref,
Yes.
no ref.
It is very frantic. You're right,
Okay.
Ross.
So it is a 50-22. Thank you. 50-22.
That's a big boost for Leinster.
It's always in his half, so it is a 50-22. The 10 was checked. Is a 50-22 Leinster ball?
Can you just check for
He
me?
has. No. Right, lads. Form your line.
Ambus.
Form your line.
Ambus.
It's definitely
Let's stand
50-22 for sure. Yeah, we were admiring it while the fight was happening on the far side.
Brilliant experience for Harry Byrne. He's still a young player. To have to face this type of Stormers' physicality and be able to find options and find space.
He looks like he's enjoying himself, and certainly some of them big forwards are enjoying the battle tonight, and they're rampaging closer, inch by inch, foot by foot, towards that Stormers line. Now where's the ball? Penalty advantage, and some more. Oh, the left hand's in the pocket.
14.
I think it's Hartzenberg who's going to take a walk here.
Cynical side entry to the ball.
Big moment in the game. Stormers down to 14. They're number 14. 10 minutes in the cooler.
Yeah, it's really good work by the Leinster pack. Whenever Jason Jenkins, the Springbok, plays for Leinster, their maul is usually rock solid, and right there they force that infringement, and Leinster go for the quick tap again.
McKee, he's got Rhys Ruddock beside him. This time it's orthodox, straight up the middle, testing the shoulders. They'll get there. They'll get there via Max Stegan, and it's the bonus point try for Leinster. It's almost inevitable, and we've played 60 minutes and Leinster lead for the first time tonight.
Yeah, and it's a traditional tap and go this time with a good carry from McKee. Here's the yellow card. You see, the Hartzenberg is the one you need to look at here. Jesus, I don't know what he did there. This mistaken identity maybe, but from that, again, it's just a latch from Deegan. He just gets that inside shoulder. It's the speed he comes onto that ball at. Look,
Thanks, mate. Well done, mate.
bounces through the tackle, and even though Van Heerden tries to get there, the damage is done. I think Stormers pretty unlucky in that yellow card, or certainly the wrong player.
Maybe he's taken one for the team. Suleiman Hartzenberg, 3 tries in his last 4 matches for Max Deegan, and Harry Byrne at this moment in time can do no wrong with the boot.
Harry Byrne deserves that conversion, in fairness to him. He's played a big part in all their tries by getting Leinster in the right area of the field. Really interesting to see now in the last quarter. Can the Stormers find that energy again? But the turning point of this game was just that turnover after Daimani break and the Rob Russell penalty. The Stormers scored there, you would have felt
You're too tight. Keep working.
would have been too big a lead for Leinster to claw back, but now Leinster in the lead and have the bonus point.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. The opening 3 quarters of the game. What does the final 20 minutes have in store? 22 points to 17. And they knew as they travelled up Sunday, Monday, the long trek up here, lots of time to think about what they would have to do to beat Leinster at the RDS. Bring that all-court game. They knew nothing would be easy. They found themselves 17 points up and playing brilliantly. Leinster were never going to go quietly. Mistakes are creeping in. They're having to make decisions on the fly, force 1 or 2 things too.
Yeah, sing on.
Yeah, and a real test for the Stormers now. How are they chasing the game? You know, they got the lead in that first half. Everything was sticking. Now they've got to start throwing passes up against the Leinster defence, which has got organised.
Flurry of changes, as you can see.
Come off.
Couple of props coming in.
Don't worry.
I'm sure Brock Harris was among those. Leinster going to make a couple of switches too. Rhys Ruddock is going off, having pretty much emptied the tank in 62 minutes. There is the aforementioned senior man Brock Harris at the ripe young age of 38.
Yeah, what a warrior he's been. Originally the Stormers, then was a great stalwart in the Dragons as well. And now having an Indian summer, obviously URC champion, does a little bit of scrum coaching as well when they come away on tour. But still plenty to offer on the field.
He's going to have to bring it. JJ Coetzee is in, Lee Barron too, and Ed Byrne for Leinster, just to bring you up to date with the furniture rearrangement. Scott Penny spinning to the ground just inside the Stormers half. Oh, big charge down from Byrne's kick, and it's fly hacked into the Leinster 22 here. Max Deegan all the way back there. Engelbrecht couldn't just get the bounce of the ball, and it's stumped clear, relieving kick. Blumentees this time, despite the ironic cheers, Leinster will want to keep their eye on him. The big collision forced the ball free, and he's knocked it on. Confirmation of those switches.
It's over.
Abdeladze as well for Alan Latoa. Senakla needs support. Blumenkees has to buy himself a second. Oh, it's big risk and reward. Huge premium on those passes. Fuchsia, physical carry again into the contact. Diamani, the pass is a little bit behind, not quite going to hand.
You can see how Leinster, the kick chase, the pressure they're putting on. This is the block down
Who's your captain?
as Harry Byrne tries to find that space in the backfield. But Max Deegan,
Cool. Scrum.
just brilliant back row work, gets back and then finds
Scrum.
a really good kick down the field. This is the ball that goes in a touch. But you can just see Leinster there. They don't panic. They just use the touchline to deal with a threat.
Yes, it is Will Connors, by the way, in for Rhys Ruddock.
Hold your own weight.
There he is.
Meet them in the middle. Meet them in the middle. Let's go.
Let's go, boys. Let's go. Come on, take.
Slow calls. Slow calls.
Nothing lost in terms of energy and tenacity in the tackle area with a player like Will Connors coming in for Rhys Ruddock. Well, as we said, both sides already assured of their places in the knockout stages at the end of the 18-match regular URC season, so you might have been forgiven for thinking that they might just go through the motions tonight. Not a bit of it. Oh, big scrum, big shove.
Leinster pulling out.
Stormers penalty.
Leinster not straight.
Bit more afters there. It's so heated. But that's an important scrum penalty for the Stormers. You just feel they need to get an advantage in one of the key areas of the game. They've just lost a little momentum.
If you players go and antagonise them after, they get the penalty next time.
Yeah, they don't want that penalty reversed. Not sure who was at fault, but the referee just making that point. And time for calm heads. Loads of time for the Stormers to get themselves back into it. But as you say, they need an access point that they can take some energy and belief from.
Probably need more forward next time, though. Maybe more forward next time, though.
The problem with the wind is, Conor, even when you win a scrum penalty, they've only moved the play up about 5 metres there, so it's a long way. It's 55 metres to the Leinster try line.
Suleiman Hartzenberg wearing a rather bemused expression in the sin bin over there. I just think it was a poor kick on that occasion. If anything, the wind has died down a little bit, and mercifully the rain has left us for the time being for the large part of this second half.
Leave.
JJ Coetzee, who started the grand final last season, has got himself involved there, and they have got the penalty. I think it's against Ross Maloney.
4 entry.
Yeah, so this is winter rugby now. Scrum penalty, maul penalty. As you said, trying to find an access point into the game. And Leinster won't be comfortable, obviously only a 5-point lead. But they've got to get more of this kick
entry,
here.
But I also 4.
That's a bit better.
Jumped across. I think you were tight, so be careful.
Yeah, much better. A couple of metres inside the 22, 3 or 4 as simple decision for Sam Grove White.
Just don't hit them all,
Ross Maloney's not impressed, but some defending for Leinster to do here.
If I see you step again, I'm going to free kick you. Everyone on the front man.
Oh, through the hands, but not forward, crucially, and knocked back a couple of times. Yanchis into LeBoc, and he's seized upon Will Connors. Big tackle from him. Likewise from Abdeladze. Yanchis again, they need to sort out what they want to do here, the Stormers. And they've got the ball, and Yanchis gets away from Will Connors, and he wasn't onside, so options here. Do they have numbers right? Oh, Willemse gets his pass away to Engelbrecht over on that far side. Slower ball for the replacement scrum half this time, and LeBoc pulls one back. An element of disguise about the pass. Is there space around the fringes?
20 never back on after the breakdown.
So it's against Will Connors. Interesting decision now maybe for the Stormers.
Yeah, the initial tackle from Will Connors was fine, but he just didn't retreat behind the hindmost foot. And Damien Willemse has been quiet. Like, what a talent he is. So just the game hasn't really suited him. But you'd fear if you were Leinster, he gets the ball in a bit of space. What a quality player he is.
I'm just thinking that when he threw that offload, that, you know, he's got so much in his locker, and sometimes he just needs to find a way to get him into the game.
On the 9 of Leinster, team on the 9 of Leinster.
Even that's not easy from LeBoc, which is why maybe I thought they might try and take 3 straight in front, but
the subs on.
It's another big opportunity for the Stormers. Down to 14 still, remember.
They've managed this yellow card well, haven't they?
Yeah. So a change at scrum half and in the second row. Deeney is in for Jenkins. All the while, more importantly, Leinster are trying to get numbers around to try and deal with this line-out maul. It's taken the ground, and it's a penalty. I wonder what the referee will see of that. Willemse has been quiet. Dan du Plessis hasn't really. He's had a really good game. Oh, beautiful hands to release LeBoc. Turner makes the tackle. Quick ball required for Yankees. He's got Engelbrecht in there. Still advantage. Daimani back against the green. Yankees ball over the top is on. They kick it through. Blumekes is back there. Trailing back was Carney. Now then.
Oh, he's happy with it, is he?
Referee has gone across all the while. It was penalty advantage. He's got a good angle on it. The assistant referee was right there, and it's a try for the fullback.
LeBoc knows a lot more than me. I said, why are you kicking it? But in fairness, his fullback does brilliantly just to outmuscle. We see it from this angle here. One-on-one with Dave Carney.
Just stay in case he needs held.
Yeah, brilliant try. And fair play to the Stormers forwards, particularly the replacements. They've got on top. Jenkins gone off. They just had that maul penalty. When they had that maul penalty, they were able to play with a little bit more abandon.
And well may Clayton Blumekes demonstrate that he absolutely loves that score. 22 points apiece, 10 minutes to go, conversion to come, 7 tries in the game. Proper game between the top 2 sides in the ledger. High pressure kick. First time this evening that I haven't seen those posts swaying like palm trees in the breeze. But LeBoc couldn't find the target, but it's a big 5-pointer.
Probably on the balance of play, a draw wouldn't be a bad result. I think the Stormers would take that now. That'd probably, looking at their fixtures, guarantee them a second place.
Change in the second row. Meantime, Ernest van Ryn is coming in.
Don't play the
And
night.
Jean-Luc Duplessis also in for the man who just scored that try to bring us level at 22 points apiece. Well, the semi-final against the Bulls was a tight game, a 1-point game.
Great kick by...
He's not trying to play it. Yeah, but
by
it's not
Yankees
any
that time. He got a much better handle on the win. You see Larmer going for it. And I think Hartzenberg, who just back off his 10 minutes in the sin bin, just gets in the eye line.
No, for me it was just a knock on by Blue.
Now can the Stormers milk another scrum penalty here, which will give them a chance to go up the line?
That was just about square. You understand? You understand.
With the conditions, we haven't seen really any team throw a backline attack move out of their playbook.
Score a lot of tries off first and second phase, these Stormers.
Yeah, I know their backs and attack coach Dowie Snyman, he spends a huge amount of time on this, but maybe against the wind, with 9 minutes to go in the RDS, isn't the time to be overly creative.
Set.
Time to be prudent and try and, oh, look at that, this way and that, every which way.
See that power, Leinster won the hit there.
Yeah. All right, lads.
But then you just saw the Stormers driving away. Leinster need to make sure they don't spin around on the loose outside.
Both of you. We need stability from both sides, and we need you to drive square. We can't just have you going around the corner. Square. Mark is here.
Let's go, Farad!
Yes, Leinster stability. Square.
Right smile on Brock Harris's face. He's seen this picture before. Not his first rodeo.
Crouch. Bite.
Can they use all that experience, all that nous and acumen, even a little bit of chorology to buy something from the referee here? Oh, it's spinning around. All eyes on the referee, and now all eyes on Yankees, who has his hands on the ball. Forwards having their own little inquest there. Seemed certain the referee would give it one way.
Get back, King!
On.
Take the fucking meter!
No.
All in the balance here. 6-7 minutes, something like that remaining.
He's going to be an easy PK.
Huge hang time on that. That's got to be way up, 4.5, 5 seconds. Kick chase was good. Nobody puts a name on it.
Yeah, it's not a bad result for the Stormers, but they didn't get the penalty from the scrum. I don't think the referee wanted to make a decision on that. He was delighted to see it pop out and Yanni's play away. There's so much movement in the scrum the last 10 minutes. That one wheeled the opposite way, wheeled around the tight head side, but
just a good
gives him a chance now.
Leinster in.
He's so animated, he's so involved, he's great value,
Right,
John Dobson. He's wonderful.
He's brilliant character, brilliant for the game. Gives the press a huge amount of time. That's a good throw.
Really good throw. Will Connors now off the back of that line out into Scott Penny, and away he goes, accelerating through a couple of tackles. Nobody could bring him to ground. Turner takes it on at pace, cutting back on the angle. Nick McCarthy to Will Connors. Always brings a big impact. Harry Byrne showing his feet. Oh, that was in the air for a fraction longer than Leinster supporters wanted to see it, drifting on the wind. McCarthy, ball went backwards there for Deegan. Again, it looked like it might have gone forward on the floor. Scott Penny, he's so strong, so dynamic. Leinster clear out is huge, and the tackles keep coming. This game has had a little bit of absolutely everything. Kieran Frawley. Nick McCarthy now, he gets it away to Brian Deeney. There's a penalty advantage. Could this be the difference between the teams over the course of the 80 minutes? Harry Byrne, crossfield kick, he's looking for Russell. He's up against Sue. That's brilliant defence, and it had to be. It almost fell the way of Russell.
22 offside.
Oh, what a nightmare for the Stormers, and that ball's in the air there. It's only Rob Russell against two Stormers players, but this is a brilliant throw from Niebarn. And a great take by Ross Maloney, one-handed. And you see here, Will Connors into Scott Penny, into that seam, and once they get behind you there, it's very hard for the Stormers to recover, and eventually I think it's Yankees who's picked up with it.
Yep.
16,
AR for being offside.
I'm
And
telling him to get onside and he's fighting me.
big kick for Harry Byrne here. I know he's got the win, but
Just on me here.
we've seen how hard it is for the kickers to judge it. Look at the post. Huge amount of movement.
Well, this could be the decisive moment in the game. They worked hard to prize the penalty. Perfect angle to see it. Oh, and the width of the post denies Leinster, and the Stormers breathe a massive sigh of relief. And he rues what might have been fine margins, separate the best teams.
Time off.
3.5 minutes. Who can go win this game?
I'll tell you what, the breeze, the wind is so strong. If a massive gust had got up, it might have been the difference. That might have clipped the inside of the upright and gone the other way. Well, they've been the two standard bearers in the competition this season. That's why we said at the start of the evening it might be a great grand final where these two to navigate their way through to another meeting a little bit later in the year. And Brock Harris with a tackle, bringing on the lads to grind. Harry Byrne, Leinster back up around halfway. McCarthy, in it goes to Ed Byrne. Great to see him back and involved after a lengthy injury. Kieran Frawley, good to see him continuing after that bang to the shoulder. Harry Byrne all the way out to Russell now to try and use his electric pace and his hands back inside. Oh, can Turner at the third or fourth attempt finally gets his hands on it.
Knock on the tackle.
Knock on in the tackle. Leinster maybe. Frawley now with one of those crossfield kicks. Saw one of those work so well in Edinburgh. This one goes to Carney, as it did a couple of weeks ago. Oh no, penalty though.
Oh, I think Harry Byrne kicked that because he thought it was an advantage. Brilliant by Rob Russell, getting his ball back inside, and just see Liam Turner here, 4 or 5 attempts at juggling it, but gets it. And this is it was only a knock-on advantage at first, and actually I think it came off his head, to be fair, off the big tight head, replacement tight head, so probably Justice and the Stormers
Blue are on the
will have
line
one
here.
more
Blue
chance
on the line. Leinster, line.
to go win this game.
Line. Yeah, you're on the line.
In fairness to Harry Byrne, he had the
Time off. Time
I suppose
off, clear down.
conviction to throw that pass, looked like a wild pass over the top to Russell, and it did get Leinster away. He's been majestic in difficult conditions tonight.
He really has.
Right.
He's still only 23. Not yet played 50 times at this level.
Yeah,
Capped a couple of times for Ireland. Libok is opposite number, receiving some attention. Well, it might well be, if it stays like this, obviously the end of the winning run, but the unbeaten run would continue.
We good?
He's been superb tonight, Scott Penny.
Right, both teams are going to form and then
It's
I put
amazing
time
the
on.
depth Leinster have in the back row. You know, we were talking about
Both
Ruddock
teams are going to come in
earlier
and then I
on.
put time on. So
Obviously, Doris,
come in,
Conan,
then time
Van der
on.
Fleer have been doing their stuff for Ireland over the course of 6 Nations. Will Connor's now back from injury.
Time doesn't go on until you come in.
Leo Cullen's going to have some selection headache as they go into the end of the season.
The Lions and the Bulls to come on the far side of that massive game against Ulster at the Aviva in 8 days' time in the knockout stages of Europe. Stormers in that argument as well. Their first ever knockout game against Harlequins in Cape Town. What an occasion that will be.
18.
That's a
They'd
great ball.
love to go into it, having beaten Leinster at the RDS, and particularly right on 80 minutes. Duplessis, good carry again from him. Now what can they set up from this kind of position? Was there an accidental offside? Oh, it's brilliant from Russell. That pass was intended for Willemsen. The winger has stolen it and pinched it.
I think Leinster are going to take the draw.
Yeah, they'll get this off the park, and that will do from a Leinster point of view, and maybe there's a little bit of poetic justice in that. Nothing between two brilliant teams.
Yeah, what a game, and I think a draw is a fair result, and that 2 points probably means Leinster can send a weakened team to South Africa, know they're going to get first place, and I believe those 2 points will be enough for the Stormers to get second, which they richly deserve, and they played a real big role in a brilliant encounter tonight in the RDS.
In really horrendous conditions, but ultimately the conditions didn't matter. They did not spoil the conditions, and there was almost 16,000 in the RDS tonight to witness the champions carry the fight to Leinster. They led 17-0, and Leinster roared back to lead 22-17, but that try from Blumekes has levelled it up. 2 points apiece, nothing between them. Leinster 22, the DHL Stormers 22.